The Archdiocese of Chicago is a vibrant and diverse faith community. We celebrate our faith through worship, evangelization, and reaching out to the needy. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann and we're so delighted to be back here again this morning in the beautiful Francis Cardinal George studio at the Archdiocese of Chicago, bringing you stories of Catholic Charities' work in Cook and Lake counties here in Illinois. We welcome everyone who is joining on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago and all who are joining us via our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. We are excited today to begin a two-part update on Catholic Charities' WIC Food Centers. As many of you know, the WIC, or Women, Infant, and Children Food Centers, first opened in 1993 when the federal government and the Illinois Department of Human Services asked Catholic Charities to open these grocery stores to eliminate food stamp fraud and address child malnutrition concerns among young families in economically challenged neighborhoods. Here to help us better understand the positive impact that WIC stores continue to have in the lives of vulnerable families in Chicago are Veola Hankle, Director of the WIC Nutrition Program, and Velma Walker, Senior Director of Pregnancy and Parenting Program Operations. Welcome, Veola and Velma.
Thank you for
having
having
us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for being with us today, ladies. Veola, can we start off with you? Can you please remind our audience as to how the WIC program began back in 1993?
Absolutely. So back in 1993, we started out with just 4 stores, believe it or not. And from now until now, we now have 14 stores. As a result of our stores being successful, we have played a major role in the revitalization of the Chicago neighborhoods. As of 2023, we have actually serviced 59,200 economically challenged mothers, caregivers, and participants that receive our benefits.
That is such an impressive statistic. And I'm wondering if, Veola, if you can describe for our audience how the shopping works at the WIC Food Centers.
Absolutely. So as we just stated, back in 1993, when we first started, they actually had the WIC coupons, right? The little blue cards where they actually came in and they shopped with that. Well, here recently, actually in 2020, we went from the actual vouchers to we actually have the SNAP EBT cards. Now, SNAP, of course, is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. What happens is they get benefits, they get a certain amount of benefits. It depends on, the household and income and things like that. And so once they receive those benefits, they are actually loaded on a card. And so they will bring it, and it's like a little debit card. They will bring the card into our facility. Mm-hmm. And once they come in, and on this card, it has a certain amount of fruits, vegetables, milk, and if they have infants, it has formulas, everything is loaded on this card. And so once they actually come in, they would see one of our customer service reps so that they can, swipe the cards, let them know what their available balance is, because they do have 30 days to use the benefit. And so at that point, they actually go in, and then sometimes they require a printout because especially with our newer clients, they're not really familiar with what all they're qualified for or what their benefits entail. Mm-hmm. So we have our staff, to walk them through what their benefits actually are, and then we help them shop. They retrieve their benefits, and we send them on, on the good way.
Yeah.
Well, and as everyone can see from our live stream, the WIC Food Centers are wonderfully stocked grocery stores where everything is clean and fresh and with name brand items. It's really a wonderful place to shop. We have a kiddie corral that the children can play in while their parents are shopping. So it really, I know, Veola, you and your teams strives so hard to make it a very pleasant experience for everyone there. And I just want to bring you in the conversation, Velma, as well, because many of the young mothers and fathers that you work with are facing very difficult circumstances in their lives. Can you describe for our audience what some of the challenges that they are facing as before they get into the WIC program?
Oh, yeah. Our goal is, it aligns up with the public health goal in general, which to address the persistent disparities that's in maternal, infant, and child health. So our pregnant and parenting operations aim is to improve the well-being of the mothers, the infants, and their children, and the families that we are working with. And this is a goal not only that we have, but it's a goal that's citywide and statewide in the United States, just to improve those the well-being of those pregnant and parenting families. And so that determines the next generation. How well we take care of our infant and our children determines what's going to happen in the future. And our goal is to meet and work with families in their communities and provide, the best resources possible. So our pregnancy and parenting, this is an opportunity we have to prevent future health problems that women and children can have. And some of those problems could be behavioral, just risky behaviors, existing health conditions, being able to look at affordable housing and help with that unstable housing. So we try to do a lot of things that will we try to make an impact and make a difference in the lives of the moms and the families that we work with, especially with unhealthy eating habits that we identify that a lot of our families, come into. They learn by shopping in our WIC Food Center stores, just what the best, the products, the healthy products that we have to offer, the fruits and the vegetables and the cereals, to be able to, take care of themselves as well as their infant or children.
And so as you start to work with young families and you're working on these other rather serious issues going on in their lives, the WIC Food Centers, when they become participants there, that's providing, removing food insecurity and providing real stability in their lives in terms of that nutrition. Isn't it, Velma?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It helps and helps reduce the risk of any other, hopefully, health problems that these families may be facing, and any other unmet needs that it helps us identify other unmet needs that the families may have, as it relates to making sure they get to appointments and getting them enrolled in WIC, so that they can receive have an opportunity to participate in the WIC Food Centers. Then transportation challenges, trying to meet those challenges to make sure they're able to access the services that we offer at Catholic Charities, including come and shop for their WIC stuff.
And so can you talk a little bit more about those eligibility requirements for people to become WIC participants? And is there a time limit to how long these families can stay in the WIC program, Velma?
Okay, yeah. Well, moms can be a part of the WIC program from pregnancy up to their children or their child turned 5 years of age. And how wonderful is that? They can shop in the stores and they can find anything and everything that they can possibly need that they will find in in a regular grocery store. And other opportunities that our WIC Food Center, which I'm thankful that they're doing, is we are aligning with the WIC Food Centers or stores to be able to offer nutritional education programs for the moms.
And so, Veola, can you talk to us a little bit more about that? What type of nutritional education programs are there currently in our 14 WIC Food Centers?
So we currently have an amazing nutritionist. Her name is Jessica Hernandez. And what we do is she actually, it's a couple of things that she does. We have recipe cards that we give the clients monthly, just to let them know healthy ways, to whereas they can feed their children and themselves, of course. Not only do we provide them with the recipe cards, we actually do food demos, right? Because we want, to let them see, touch, and feel it, how it actually is. An interesting thing is, of course, a lot of us, when we see certain ingredients and certain products, we're like, no, we don't want that. And so one of the running things around here is that it's this white bean soup that's actually made, one of the recipes that Jessica and her team created. And when everybody's seen it, they was like, oh, no, that is awful. Well, now everybody asks her to make it, even though it was a recipe that was created months ago. So it's things like that. We also partner with, I believe it's the Illinois Extension, to whereas they actually come in and they do cooking classes for the clients. And so this teaches them, again, how to, prepare healthy meals from start to finish. And majority of the products that they use are WIC approved products, of course, with the exception of like seasonings, or if we, do some sort of meat or something. But everything else that's included in these recipes are certainly WIC approved.
And do people have to be in the stores to take advantage of these classes and see the demonstrations, or some of that offered online, Veola?
You know what? Last year we did both. We did in person and we did online as well. And, it was like when we did a survey, it was sort of like 50-50. Like some people said, okay, I enjoyed the online, but then other people was like, no, we actually want to touch and feel it. So yeah, it was kind of interesting. But me personally, I would like to actually touch and feel it. I don't work well.
Well, but that's a great option that you offer, though, because with 14 stores located all over the big city of Chicago, it's wonderful that you're pursuing that option and holding those surveys so that you see what's most beneficial and what's helpful to these young families. And even if you're getting, I don't know what numbers you're looking for, but, even some people watching online, that's still a benefit, right? They're sitting in their homes watching these nutrition classes and learning more about good cooking and good eating for their family, right, Veola?
Yeah, and you know what, Katie, the good thing about it too is that so they have to sign up, right? I digress. Okay, so with the cooking classes, with the in-person or virtual, if they sign up virtually, they actually receive a box full of the ingredients of where they would, prepare the food. So they're actually preparing it virtually, with the instructor. As far as the actual in-person classes, again, all the ingredients are there. Now that's that piece of it. However, we have we got a Facebook page, we are on Instagram, we're on TikTok. On there, we actually, do recipes as well and show them step-by-step instructions on how to prepare certain meals.
It's really so impressive. And between the two of you, you're really connecting with so many guests, so many Catholic Charities clients who can benefit from the wonderful WIC centers. Again, we're talking about Catholic Charities WIC Food Centers, 14 of them in Chicago. And last year, they served 59,200 women, fathers, mothers, and children. And it's really just a fabulous program. If you ladies will please bear with us, we're going to take a break here on the Voice of Charity. And when we return, we're going to continue our conversation with Velma Walker and Veola Hankle, who are providing a wonderful update today for us on Catholic Charities WIC Food Centers. Please stay tuned.
I can't imagine myself going into any other school.
Our school fosters growth by being a backbone to our family.
My kids are incredibly well-rounded. I see a lot of kindness in them on a daily basis.
One of the things I think Catholic schools do well is personalize the learning experience. You can hear joy in the classrooms.
I feel that I'm happy that I am in this kind of school.
Our school communities provide students with academic excellence and character education in a supportive and stable learning environment. Come see for yourself. Visit archchicago.org/findaschool.
Community is core to Catholic Charities' founding mission. For more than 100 years, we have met people and families where they are, serving anyone in need, regardless of their faith, gender, race, or ethnicity. As our world absorbs the economic, political, and social aftershocks of the pandemic, 50% or more of the 6 million people living in Cook and Lake counties have little or no savings. They are a paycheck away from zero. We are deeply grateful to everyone in the Catholic Charities community who partners with us to alleviate the suffering of the people we serve and offer them a better path forward. We are witnessing a message of mercy and hope to a world very much in need. Learn more at CatholicCharities.net.
Welcome back to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and it is my great pleasure today to be with two Catholic Charities leaders who are helping so many thousands of women and children find food, take care of food insecurity and provide food stability in their lives through our Catholic Charities WIC Centers. With us today are Veola Hankle, who is the director of the WIC Food Centers, and Velma Walker, who is senior director of our parenting and pregnancy program operations. And as I said, together they are quite a dynamic duo. You know, ladies, before the break we were talking about the nutrition classes that WIC offers in addition to the shopping experiences. And I wonder, Veola, if you could talk a little bit more about how the WIC Food Centers go beyond being food centers, that they actually become community hubs of other services that these mothers and fathers and children can take advantage of when they come to shop.
Absolutely. So my VP primary goal is to make our WIC centers a one-stop shop, right? We want to make sure that we address all the barriers that we possibly can. Meaning when they come to our facility, we don't only want them to come and get, groceries. We want to be able to provide them with additional services or put them in the directions where these services are. Mm-hmm. And so, for instance, currently we've partnered with a lot of different agencies that helps us do that. Like, for instance, we have over at our diversity store, we have the tax assistance. It's ladder up. So anyone who would like to have their taxes done, they will go in, to our facility and they will get their taxes done. We also have our fraternity establishment. And this helps, the parent either or, establish, fraternity. And so that's something that we assist with. We also have, we have the supervised playrooms. We got the photo, ID assistance. We actually also are in the process of, we have mental health counseling. So if they come in and they need, assistance as far as, mental health, we have therapists at a couple of our locations to where they, can receive that service. We have partnered with the Near North Clinic to where they actually do pop-ups, at over on our North Side location. They come in, they do pop-up. Recently, we have partnered with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they will be, coming into one of our centers. They will be conducting parenting classes. Certainly, we are a part of our parenting and pregnancy with the wonderful Miss Velma here. Whereas, we are, continuing to make sure that we collaborate on and figure out ways of how we can be most efficient with the clients. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have now partnered back with the SNAP program, meaning we used to have a SNAP person that was on at our facilities that will help the clients come in, the new clients, if they wanted to fill out the application so that they can actually start SNAP benefits. So they are now back, and we have them at 2 of our locations as well.
That's just a wonderful description, Veola, of the wonderful network of Catholic Charities programs and services internally, but also with community partners that are helping these young families, start in the most successful way possible. And Velma, I also just want to ask, your input, because when you're working with young families, some of those basic needs beyond food are so essential. Diapers and formula. Is that one of the ways that your clients, your guests, become acquainted with the WIC Food Centers, is just by finding the avenue to obtain those
sure.
basic needs, right?
Of course, our clients we get them from our WIC. Some of our clients come from the WIC, refer to us for our pregnant parenting program, or have need of emergency supplies. And if we have them, we definitely provide that supply to them. In addition, by them just being in the program, they have opportunities to receive some of our services if they're pregnant and they need support. We have a doula. If they qualify, we have a doula program, which provides that doula support for our pregnant parenting, for our pregnant moms. And they work with those moms all the way up to 2 months postpartum. And they too continue to receive that. We make sure that they're enrolled in WIC and they're able to shop in the WIC Food Centers to get their food. And that is a wonderful partnership when we're able to make sure that we help them with those WIC benefits, and then they can go right there and shop in the stores. And we also have our support groups that we're able to offer moms either virtually or in person, just more the support that they need about helping what it means to be a parent and a good parent and working with your babies. The main thing we focus on really is the developmental care, helping moms to make sure that they are receiving the proper nutrition, that their babies are growing developmentally, and we monitor and track their development up to age 3 years. So that's one of the services that we're happy to have been a part, and we've always felt that being a one-stop shop, it makes it easier for the parent to be able to come, identify resources, participate in programs and activities and events that Catholic Charities offers. So in addition, though, we feel that we're able to address some of the disparities that has been identified and help improve, the outcomes of moms not having preterm babies. Our moms pretty much have healthy babies, which we're happy about that. Our moms go full term. Their deliveries, if possible, our vaginal deliveries, we try to help reduce moms from having cesarean sections, so we're happy about that relationship, because when you eat well and you do all the right things, hopefully the end you have a healthy delivery and then a healthy baby.
It really is removing barriers to success, isn't it, ladies? As you said,
yes.
You're both helping that next generation start in the most positive way possible. Before we run out of time today, could I ask you each to maybe share a story of a young mom that you're working with currently, and what her reaction is after she sees how these wraparound services are there to support her and her children? Veola, may I start with you? Obviously, we want to respect the privacy of our guests, so maybe just use a first name if that's possible.
Okay, sure. Well, I would just say, because I have so many, so let me just choose one. Let's just say Amanda. Amanda was actually just migrated here, and she really didn't have any resources. She didn't have a permanent resident. She was living in a shelter. So as a result of her living in the shelter, she had a baby and they couldn't take milk and certain things in the shelter. And so we were able to, assist her by providing her with the powdered milk because we normally don't carry it. It's done on a special need base, to whereas we actually provide it. So we were able to provide her with that, with the milk, and she was very happy with that. I'll talk about another client of ours by the name of Valerie. Valerie was in need of coats for her children. And so we actually just had, it was a pop-up through one of the other Catholic Charities departments. I believe it was our missions department. They actually came to one of our sites, and they not only did they bring coats, but they brought like the care bags. They gave away socks, underwear, Pampers, and we had an amazing turnout. When I tell you that we had at least 60 people that actually came, and they were able to receive, coats and Pampers and different things for their children, and they were very, very grateful. And it really, really warmed our hearts just to know that we were able to connect them with services within our service that will be beneficial to them.
Beautiful stories there. And Velma, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I do. I think I have two stories. We had a client, and her name, Nicole. Well, the official name is Nicole. I'll just say that. And she shared with us that it was her first time in the food center, and that her shopping experience has to be in the evening time after she gets off of work. And the worker, she stated to me for the food center, she's not to myself, but to her worker, that she had a wonderful experience because they were so kind to her. She had never shopped in a food center, and that they really helped guide her for everything that she needed that was on her list, and that she had a pleasant experience. When you get off of work and you got to hurry home, take care of your baby, and you need to hurry and get the things, that the workers really walked her through everything that she needed because it was her first time at the food center. Then we had a client that came through our office at the last minute in December, and it was an immigrant client, and she had nothing at all. She had no coat. She needed food. She needed milk for her baby, and for about 5 people. So we were able to help her by connecting with someone in our department that was bilingual, that could help her with everything she needed. And we were able to get her enrolled in the WIC so she could receive a WIC card, a EBT card. She was able to get milk for her baby. This has all happened the same day. And then we were able to connect with another Catholic Charities entity that she was able to access to get her some coats that she needed for herself. We provided coats for her children, and we were able to provide her some shoes and socks for her feet. She was so grateful and appreciative for what Catholic Charities was able to do for her. I mean, I just remember her so well because she grabbed me and hugged me. And that moved me because that was, it's the holiday time, and I couldn't speak her language, but I was still able to help her because of the other connections that we have as employees with other Catholic Charities employees that would help us help, people that may not speak, may not understand what we're speaking, understand English.
Yeah, well, you ladies are such a blessing in the lives of so many thousands of people. I'm so sorry to cut you off, but we've run out of time here on The Voice of Charity, and I hope you'll come back and share more stories again very soon.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. We want to share with everyone that you can learn more information at wicgrocery.org or call 312-655-7700. Again, thank you so much, Velma and Veola, and we invite all of you back again next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Bredemann, and we thank you for tuning in and believing in the mission of Catholic Charities.